everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is really talking all things Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I'm going to give my hot takes on what I think is going on with the girls. I'm going to talk about Boz, the new girl. I have a hot take on her, the whole situation with Kyle, Dorit, Erika's therapy session, Garcelle, Sutton beefing with Dorit. We're going to get into all of it, and I'm going to give some really good hot takes. Hopefully not too unpopular opinions, but we'll find out. But before we do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. It's a fun and easy way to support the channel, and I would really appreciate it. So with that, let's go. So if you're watching live, be sure to say hi in the chat box. Let's have a really lively discussion, what your thoughts are. And if you're watching on the replay, be sure to comment down below. So with that, let's dive right on in. All right, so I'm going to do things a little bit different tonight. I'm going to talk about separate issues that the women are having, and then I'll give more of an overview of what I think is going on with everyone. So the first topic I wanted to talk about, I am calling the dark truth about the reason why I think Garcelle is getting so much backlash on social media, and everyone's sort of like praising Boz as she is evidently becoming Dorit's mouthpiece. Okay, that's why I'm calling it the dark truth. So I think that one of the biggest reasons why Garcelle is getting so much backlash this season, people are like, oh, Garcelle needs to go. She's being a bully. She can't play the race card. She needs to go to Atlanta or Potomac. Why is she on Beverly Hills still? This is not her season. She doesn't have a storyline. And if you guys hear background music, I apologize. That is the laundry and it's super loud, but hopefully it'll die down soon. So I apologize for any back noise. Okay, there's that. But the reason why I think that people are saying that is, unfortunately, I think that when there are two Black girls on a predominantly white show, it's not necessarily that the two Black girls themselves go against each other, but the collective, obviously not us, but the collective kind of thinks, well, we already have one Black girl, we can't have two. So it's almost like we don't need Garcelle anymore to check that box. Now we have Boz. And when you put Garcelle and Boz together, I think that like up against each other, which I think is disgusting, we shouldn't do it, but I think it's important to talk about because I think that's at the crux of what is going on. And I do have a video clip from another TikToker who shares the same opinion, and she also breaks it down, and I agree with her, and I'll share that clip in a second. But I think that Boz is more palpable to the collective conscious than Garcelle is, because Boz just goes along to get along. She doesn't really have a point of view. She's really not that vocal. She says she's very direct, but I have yet to see her be that way. The only time I've heard her talk has been in confessionals or to defend Dorit. So I'm not really sure what she means when she's talking about that, okay? So I'm going to show the clip real quick so you guys can get an understanding of what I'm saying, and I want to know what you guys think about this too.
Okay, so guys, we know that we can have like two Black women on Beverly Hills at the same time, right? Like it doesn't just have to be one or the other, right? We know this because the amount of discourse I have seen on this app about why is Garcelle still on the show? Do we even need Garcelle anymore? Is weird. Meanwhile, she has been a fan favorite since she's been on this show. Like, it's not lost on me that as soon as Boz got on the show, now all of a sudden people are on this app are saying that we don't need Garcelle. We can have two Black women on a highly popular reality show and be okay. It doesn't have to be one or the other. If we have Boz, we can also have Garcelle. So let's cut this out right now. Thank you.
So yeah, she pretty much sums up what I was saying, and I agree with that. So I want to know what you guys think about that. But that was kind of my thoughts on what I think the crux of the backlash is with Garcelle this season. It's not coming from me or the majority of the candy canes, but I think that was just something interesting to talk about. Okay, now let's talk about the next subject. All right, again, Boz. I had high hopes for her. I really wanted to like her, but for me, she's falling flat as a housewife. I think that she's kind of being pushed onto us. Like we're being fed like, oh, Boz is amazing. Boz is great. Like Erika and Dorit, oh my God, we love Boz. But to me, Boz doesn't seem like she actually wants to be there. And again, if there's background noise, I truly apologize. It's the washer and I can't turn it off, so I apologize. Anyway, so to me, she's kind of being force-fed onto us and pushed. And the problem with her is that you can tell that she's being coached by Erika and by Dorit. And it's giving Real Housewives of New York City when we see Brynn so clearly trying to coax Rebecca, like, oh, you need to say this, you need to say that, and how the reason why New York City isn't working and is falling flat is because the women are so clearly self-producing themselves and each other. And we're starting to see that on Beverly Hills too with Boz. Like they're coaching her. Like, yeah, you should go say this. You should go do this. Well, you have to speak up. And it's like, that's not what I want to watch. I don't want to watch these women on camera coach each other to be on a reality show. I just want to watch these women form friendships or form, sisterhoods or not form sisterhoods and have authentic fights and disagreements and work through it or not work through it. But I want it to be authentic and organic. I don't want it to be coaxed. And we've now seen multiple scenes where Erika and Dorit are like coaching Boz. Like, that's something you should say. That would be great. Oh, she's great. And it's just like, what? It's almost like I'm being hypnotized or I'm being like, I don't know what the word is. Yeah, they're trying to like hypnotize me into liking Boz. And I'm sorry, but I don't think she's a good fit. I don't think she wants to be there. And I also I don't know why she doesn't have more of an opinion about what's going on in her own life. You know what I mean? And now my biggest issue with Boz on this particular episode, and again, I know my candy canes are smart enough to catch this, but I'm super confused as to why a lot of people on social media are like, oh my God, Dorit's amazing. She's shining. She's used the C word against Camille. That is so cool. She cleared Sutton. No, Sutton cleared Dorit. When she said to her, you're not angry at me, you're angry at your life, I was like, Queen Sutton, she cleared her. Just because Dorit then had a breakdown. My life sucks right now. What else? Blah, 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 blah. Like, Dorit, pipe down. Like, you're now getting a personality 7 seasons in because you need this paycheck. You're now getting a personality 7 seasons in because you no longer have Kyle's cover. You're now getting a personality 7 seasons in because your house is in pre-foreclosure. PK is broke and so are you, allegedly. Now you want to get a personality? Girl, pipe down. Pipe all the way down. And what kills me was when Boz was like, oh, well, you can't weaponize what she's going through, Sutton, to Dorit. And I'm like, Boz, you are this multi-millionaire CMO boss babe, and you don't know how to correctly use the word weaponize because you actually used it incorrectly. And if you watch the, not to be like, a word snob, but I am one, Boz. Only because in the after show, she was so snotty. She was like, well, if she had a bigger vocabulary, this is what Boz was saying about Sutton. Well, if she had a bigger vocabulary, then she would be fine with me using the word weaponize. Well, you actually used it incorrectly, sweetheart. Okay. And I'm gonna break down why and how you use it incorrectly. So weaponize. We're gonna go with definition number 2. To exploit for the purpose of attacking a person or a group or for spreading discord. They find it easier to weaponize the fear and uncertainty of national events. That's the way she thought she was using it against Sutton. That's incorrect. What Sutton did to Dorit was she was holding her accountable for the way that she was treating people. Versus what Dorit was doing, Dorit was actually weaponizing. So Dorit was actually the person weaponizing something. She was exploiting, aka weaponizing, where she was in her life, her trauma, her alleged separation, her financial situation, in order to justify attacking other people, Sutton. So you actually used the word incorrectly, Bose. Dorit was the one who was weaponizing her situation in order to justify attacking other people, yelling and screaming and cussing out Kyle every other scene, calling Camille the C word, going off on Sutton, and when you don't even know what you're talking about. In the Sprinter van, nobody was talking to you or about you, Dorit. Sutton was talking to Erika about what Erika said to Kyle. That had nothing to do with Teddy and nothing to do with you. Quite frankly, she was talking about in general, when we are in a group, it is okay to speak up so everyone can hear. You don't have to whisper. We should all feel safe to talk in the group. It actually had nothing to do with you, Dorit, and it had nothing to do with Teddy. That is what Sutton was trying to explain to you and everybody else in this burner van, but you didn't get it because you don't close your mouth long enough to do it. It's absolutely insane. And so Bose, she's lost me. I was like, I'll give her a couple more episodes, but girl, you're corny. Also because throughout the episodes, Boz doesn't talk. Like, she doesn't talk in the group setting. She doesn't engage really. She's just up Dorit's butt. Oh, girl, you look great. And then the one time she actually asserts herself, she uses the word weaponize incorrectly to defend Dorit to Sutton, who, by the way, Sutton was the way, whether it's authentic or not, it's how it was being presented to, us, that Sutton was the one who brought Bose into the group. So the one time you want to assert yourself and be this boss babe that you claim to be, it's not even in defense of yourself. It's in defense of Dorit, who you've known for 2 seconds, to go against Sutton, who was your gateway into the group, and then incorrectly use the word weaponize. And Bose, if you ever watch this, I'll give you a couple of examples of what weaponizing would have been if Sutton actually was, okay? It would be, for example, if Sutton said to Dorit, are you sure you're ready to like date again? Are you sure you're ready for that? You've been all over the place in your situation with PK. Like, I don't think you're in the right place for that. That would be weaponizing her situation against her. It's knowing that she's going through something and then trying to undermine her confidence and exploit it in order to go against her. Or like, oh, I feel so bad for Dorit, but honestly, she's such a hot mess right now. I don't even know if she'll be able to handle being on her own without PK or taking care of the kids. She'll never get through this. Oh, poor her. That is weaponizing what Dorit is going through against her. Saying to her, listen, you're lashing out at me and you're not actually angry at me. You're angry at your life and you're projecting. That's holding somebody accountable for the way that they're treating you. That's not weaponizing what they're going through against them. So pipe down, Bose, and maybe get a dictionary. I know I'm on one right now, but it's just how I feel. It's just how I feel. I don't know. That just really triggered me because I just thought it was crazy. And I thought Sutton's, you're not angry at me, you're angry at your life. I thought that was a slay, personally. And again, I think the problem with, and then I'll get off of Bose and we talk about something else. But again, I think the biggest reason why this is such a hot take for me when it comes to Bose is she's not really giving anything of herself. She has a great backstory. This CMO dated this great guy. He got cancer, super sad. She has a great story, but she doesn't have anything going on in real time, as in a storyline. Garcelle gets backlash, like, oh, Garcelle doesn't have a storyline. She doesn't need a storyline. She's Garcelle. She's funny. She's hilarious. She's giving it to you. She's raw. She's vulnerable. She's a vibe. Bose isn't. She's not really, giving of herself. Like, I would prefer if she would talk about herself and what she's doing. And I'm not really, and I think the whole like, stuff with the, I'm kind of over like her corporate job being her entire personality. That never works. Like Wendy 4 Degrees in Potomac being her personality doesn't work. Bose being the CMO and showing a clip of her daughter giving a PowerPoint presentation, like shout out to PowerPoint, a PowerPoint presentation, like And then she being like, I approve and pay for it. Like, can you not? Like, we get it. You're a badass CMO. And what's after, like, and, but who are you? Like, and, like, and? Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work. Like, when Anna Marie, I'm an anesthesiologist or whatever the heck she was, and she harped on that all season and made that her entire personality. It doesn't work. And whether or not people are coming after Sutton because Dorit's having her whole little moment, newbies going after Sutton, that also doesn't usually work. Crystal came out the gate going after Sutton. Oh, she said something dark that blew up in her face. Anna Marie going after Sutton with the esophagus, that clearly blew up in her face. I'm not sure if it's gonna blow up in Bose's face as much as the other ones, only because of the whole Dorit halo moment right now. But my hope is that the rest of the collective catches on that, like, this isn't it. Do you know what I mean? That's just kind of how I feel with the whole situation. It rubs me the wrong way with Bose, because to be honest with you, we should be talking about what's going on in Bose's life. What is she bringing to the table for the show? What is she interested in? Instead, the only thing I know about Bose is that she's up Dorit's butt. What else do I really know about her that's current in real time other than just what's on her LinkedIn page? And that's why she's falling flat for me. You know what I mean? But that's just kind of how I feel on her. All right, let's move on to, okay, this was the other thing I wanted to say, and then I'll talk more about the episode and everything. I had to go down a rabbit hole to make sure that, like, I wasn't the only person being like, I'm team Kyle when it comes to Dorit versus Kyle. Like, I cannot be the only person who sees Dorit for who she is. And so I found this beautiful thread on Reddit that says, sorry, but the Dorit D writing is getting annoying. And so I took a bunch of the comments that I thought were really great. I'll read them and then we can, like, kiki about them, because I was like, okay, I'm not going crazy. Other people see it too. Okay. All right. So this person says she's a very shallow, unlikable person, and all it took was her smoking on camera and getting separated for some of you to forget what she was like before. Dorit's put on this fake persona, and I don't feel like she's relatable because she refuses to be herself. I can't stand housewives who try too hard to flaunt their wealth and pretend to be better than everyone else. She makes everything about herself, and when she gets confronted after she F's up, she turns it around and becomes the victim, not to mention her microaggressions. And to me, that is spot on. That is absolutely spot on with how I feel about Dorit. She has been a non-factor for 7 seasons because she was coasting. But just because she was a non-factor doesn't mean she was nice, doesn't mean she was, oh, I'm not taking it anymore. No, it just meant that she was hiding her meanness because she just was coasting. But she was a part of all of the mess. She was right there with Lisa Rinna with the whole Kathy Aspen situation. She was right there with the Faux Fox 5. She's a founding member of the Faux Fox 5 when it came to taking down Lisa Vanderpump with Lucy Apple Goosey, the most dumbest thing, puppygate ever in the world. When all of them knew what Lisa was going through, she had lost her brother and then she lost her mother, and they all turned on her at Lisa's lowest to get her off the show because they were jealous as hell. Are we forgetting that Dorit was a part of that? I'm super confused. Like, are we forgetting this? Just because Dorit was coasting on Lisa Rinna and Erika Jaynes and Kyle Richards' coattails doesn't mean that she's actually a nice person. Because I've seen all these comments, Dorit was so nice. People are taking advantage of her niceness. Now she's speaking up for herself. No, Dorit wasn't nice. She wasn't kind. She was just coasting because she didn't want to talk about what was going on in her life. The gambling debts, the fraud suits, being that girl in the Bahamas who was about to whoop Dorit's butt because she and they chased her around the pool because Dorit and PK owed them money for Beverly Beach. So no, Dorit isn't nice. She's not kind. She's not finally having a voice. She was coasting because she didn't want to talk about everything that is now is coming to a head. Because now on the show, Dorit's like, my life sucks and I'm just like so scared. Everything's falling apart. It's not about the separation from PK. It's about the finances. I think they're scared as hell. Their house is going to be foreclosed on. I think they're scared as hell that the insurance companies, maybe the FBI, whoever the hell else, is going to start investigating these alleged robberies. That's why PK lost his damn mind when Garcelle brought it up. And everyone's like, Garcelle needs to move on. Why is she holding a grudge against Dorit? No, Dorit was the one holding a grudge because see episode 1 at Sutton's party, Garcelle went up to hug Dorit and Dorit snubbed her. And then in the confessional, Dorit's still pissed and all in her feelings because Garcelle talked about the home robbery invasion being an alleged insurance scam. So does Dorit have to let it go? Is Dorit holding a grudge? Is she being a bully? Or is it only Garcelle who has to take the high road? Miss me with that. Miss me with it. But I was obsessed with this thread because I was like, yes, I have found my people and my candy canes. Okay. Then here's another one. And it says, that's not the point. They're talking about a different comment. Then let's go. It goes, obviously, Kyle is hiding why she's really mad. So they're talking about Kyle versus Dorit. I suspect the rumors about Mo and Dorit started to bother her, but she can't exactly say that without putting the father of her children on blast. Maybe it's because Dorit repeatedly defends Kathy to her, but Kyle can't say that without a feud with Kathy. But anyway, it doesn't matter why she's mad originally. That's not what we're discussing. The point is that Kyle sat down to fix it, a courtesy she doesn't normally give people other than Dorit. And Dorit flew up the handle and started screaming and making a scene. It was objectively unlike who we know Dorit to be. She's performing this season with her anger towards Kyle. I don't even feel like it's real. Exactly. I'm telling you, this Reddit thread was on and popping. And I was like, yes, I found my people, my candy canes, my people. Yes. Because I was like, I want to make sure like I'm not the one. Like, am I the problem? Am I going crazy? But I was like, no, okay, I'm right. Exactly. Exactly. And I was saying this from jump. Dorit is performing right now. Well, she's performing and she's not performing. She's performing this performative anger and she's had enough and she's fed up and F everybody and you're the see you next Tuesday and I'm going to give you the middle finger and smoke on camera. She's doing the absolute most because I think now more than ever she needs that Bravo check to keep her life and her life afloat. So she's doing everything she can. But on the flip side, the reason why I say she's not performing is because I don't think she ever really liked Kyle. So I think she's saying and getting all that vitriol and all that anger out onto Kyle, not because Kyle has done anything that actually warrants this level of vitriol. Because to be honest with you, Kyle is annoying. Vile Kyle, sure. But when it comes to Dorit, Kyle hasn't done anything to Dorit that matches the level of anger Dorit is pretending to have. I think what we're actually seeing is Dorit being honest about the level of disdain she has for Kyle. And those are two different things. I don't think she ever really liked Kyle. I think behind Kyle's back, she clowned the hell out of her. I don't think she respected her. I think she thought Kyle was a joke. Then I think her, Lisa Rinna, and Erika Jayne got together after everything that happened, after Lisa Rinna got fired, after all the backlash. I think they all got together and was like, oh, Kyle's more manipulative than we thought, because they thought they were the ones really playing Kyle. But then Kyle still came out unscathed. Erika Jayne has all the stuff going on with Tom Girardi, so she's a villain and evil. Lisa Rinna got fired. Dorit's a non-factor. And Kyle got to come back pretty much unscathed. And I think that they are pissed and resented her. And that's why now they're like, oh, she's more manipulative than we thought, because their scheme to take down Kyle via Kathy, or Kathy via Kyle, however you want to look at it, didn't work. And Kathy came out smelling like a rose. And so it didn't work. Because as we know, these women get together to take down each other. That was the entire reason why the Faux Fox 5 was born, to take down LVP. So once you take down LVP, then it's like, well, then who are we going to take down next? And I think the group was always Teddi, Kyle, Erika, Dorit, and Kyle and Lisa. But I think the actual core group was Erika, Dorit, and Lisa. They just used and played Teddi and Kyle. for mouthpieces and for cover. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, yes, I agree 1,000% with this. It's giving every single thing in the world. And again, Dorit, I don't buy it. I don't buy the separation either. I think that they have either been separated and now they're saying it and the timeline isn't real, or if they're pretending to be separated because of finances, lawsuits, storyline. I think it's more money than anything else. The whole alcoholism sobriety story makes no sense. I don't buy it for not a nanosecond. Okay. Okay. Let's go on to the next one. It says Dorit has played an enormous part in their money woes. I doubt she'll ever consider dialing back her spending in any way. I am not a poor PKing here. They both have been living way beyond their actual means for years. She is fully complicit in whatever he's been doing and fully aware. We all saw her get chased around that pool and never gets brought up on the show. I'm glad she's sticking it to Kyle, but is that even real? This is the least real of the franchises currently airing. Wait, hold the phone. It actually isn't. New York City is, but yeah, Dorit. Okay. So yeah, again, spot on 100%. And that's why I say I'm team PK when it's PK versus Dorit. And also to kind of harken back to my issue with Bose being like, oh, Sutton, you're weaponizing her situation against Dorit. I forget how this saying goes, the exact phrasing of it, but it is so good. It's like the most dangerous people are people who play victims in scenarios of their own making. Something like that. Basically, it means when somebody creates a negative situation and then they play victim in the negative situation that they created themselves. And that is what Dorit is doing. Dorit, allegedly, I'm not trying to get sued because I know they need some money, but they ain't getting my money. Allegedly, not only do I think you know about your husband's money situations, I think two things. One, I think you were in on some of the schemes and scams and frauds. Not the ones we allegedly know about. Our opinions are that they're shady, which would be like all of the robberies you've had. Like you've been robbed at least 3 or 4 times that we know of. We know of the home invasion. There was another robbery they talked about. And then when Dorit she said she was walking around doing Christmas shopping and she randomly had $10,000 in cash in her purse that magically disappeared. Girl, what? Who walks around with $10K in cash? I don't even think I have a $10 bill. Everything is plastic or digital. Put it on my card. I'll Venmo you. Who's walking around with $10K in cash? Dorit, stop lying, in my opinion. So you've had multiple, insurance scams, thefts, robberies that are very super questionable, okay? And if those are the ones that we know about, not to mention the lawsuits of certain banks in London, allegedly defrauding their rich friends. Basically, what they would do is they would get these like multi-million-dollar loans from banks, multi-million-dollar loans from like rich friends they knew. Then they would file bankruptcy to try to get out of having to legally repay the people back. But they would still have the money. They would do what they want. But they would say, no, we're bankrupt, so we don't have to pay you back. They were doing some type of scheme like that. They tried to get out of his gambling debts that way, but I think the casinos fought back. And so that's when they did the whole home invasion thing to pay back the millions of dollars of the casino debts because they weren't able to clear it with the bankruptcy. All alleged, but Google it. Not making it up. Google it, but alleged, okay? If those are the things that we know about, and you've been with this man for over a decade, how many schemes and scams do we not know about? You know who your husband is, and we know who you are. PK said, and again, you always have to listen to what people say because people always tell on themselves. People said we were like Bonnie and Clyde. 2 criminals? Two criminals. Okay? You were in my opinion, you were in on the schemes and the scams, and now you want to play victim because it's all catching up to you. And that's what I think you're so stressed about. It's not about PK drinking. It's about all the schemes and the scams. I think are catching up to you. I think the bank accounts are in negative in the red. Home is allegedly being foreclosed on. I just think that it's all catching up to you. And I think that's what you're so stressed about. I don't think the reason why you're saying everything is falling apart and, all of this is because PK likes to have a martini. Like, you're not fooling anybody. And have we ever even seen PK drunk on the show? No. We've seen him drink and have fun, but we've never seen PK out of pocket on the show. So I'm confused. But then that's just me asking questions. That's just me asking questions, okay? I'm confused. I'm asking questions. So you can't play victim in a scenario that you created and then be mad at people who question that scenario or be mad at people who don't placate you. So that again is why Boz, Sutton, Kyle, whoever you want to talk about, is not weaponizing anything against Dorit. All Sutton did was hold a mirror that's holding somebody accountable, being like, listen, you're not mad at me. You're mad at the situation you're in. You're mad at the situation you're mad because the schemes and the scams have caught up to you. So stop yelling at me. Okay? So I agree with that. And again, I agree with that. I don't know the exact quote, but I agree with that quote so much because people will create these piss poor situations, play victim to try to manipulate you and gaslight you. And to me, I unsubscribe to that. I'm like, you created this situation. You're not going to play victim. You're not going to manipulate me. See ya. See ya. Not going to happen. Okay? Okay. Now let's talk about this one. This one says, I've always thought PK was pretty ick, but I'm glad to see him getting on a sober journey. It is wild that Dorit almost seems to see that as a part of the problem with their relationship. If him being around you means he drinks, then yeah, there's probably some real unhealthy stuff there. Kyle's storyline is wild because by what we're seeing and hearing, Mo isn't even the a-hole in the situation. So with both Dorit and Kyle, it is a sort of a situation where I'm somehow having some sympathies for their husbands when I've always kind of thought those guys were jerks. Okay. Again, agreed. I just told you I'm Team PK. And when it comes to Mo and Kyle, this is the problem I have with Kyle. Like Queen Sutton said, where's Kyle? She's in denial. She's in denial. Okay? Kyle keeps saying, oh, everyone's projecting their stuff onto me. My relationship isn't like this, like that. My marriage isn't like that. Mo isn't like that. When Sutton came to her and said, you need to file, this is crazy what he's doing. When Camille said to her, Mo is having maybe a midlife crisis, he has his freedom and he's working on his body and, all the young girls. And Kyle still has this sort of holier than thou, super like self-righteous. No, we're different. No, sweetheart, you're not different. You're just like them, but worse because you're still in denial where these women have come to accept the situation for what it is. You think Mauricio is above hiding money from you? What? He didn't even want to pay your daughter how much she deserved at her job. Don't believe me? Go back, watch season 1 of Buying Beverly Hills. Farrah was about to quit the agency because she wasn't making the correct amount of what's the word I'm looking for? Not contingency fee, but compensation fee, rate, whatever it's called, her portion of it. She wasn't making the correct amount of compensation for what she was doing at the agency. So if Mauricio is not willing to pay your daughter, his stepdaughter that he's known since she was a child, the correct amount of money, you think he's going to do you right when he's ready to leave you? Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Miss me with that. And that's my issue with Kyle this season. The most annoying thing about Kyle is she's like Kyling. She's being Kyle, self-righteous, holier than thou, thinking she's better and different. You're not better and you're not different. You think, she's like, oh, Camille, it could be so worse because Kelsey was cheating on Camille. You don't think Mo has been cheating on you for decades, sweetheart? You said it yourself last season. Oh, for once, it's not you in the tabloids being the cheater because you're pretending out here to be with Morgan Wade, which is a joke. Free Morgan, hashtag free Morgan Wade. Poor thing. She's an indentured servant at this point. And again, alleged. But there have been conversations about Mauricio out here dipping it and doing it with trans sex workers. And trust and believe that I mean zero disrespect to trans sex workers. Zero disrespect. The shade is to Mauricio, not to them. Because over here, you know how I feel. We're all in this together. So I don't mean that derogatory towards the trans sex worker by any means. I want to make that crystal clear. So, and again, I'm not making this up. You can Google it. It's on the Googler. All you have to do is Google it. It was in like Esquire or Star Magazine a long time ago. It's why Brandy and Kyle were beefing. Remember, this was like season 2 or 3 or something like that, where Brandy said that Lisa, maybe season 4, I don't know, whatever season it was, Brandy said Lisa told her to bring the cheating tabloids on vacation with them. And Lisa's like, I never told you that. And then Kyle got really mad. This was all of that. That is the situation that they were talking about, but they weren't allowed to say it because, Kyle's a de facto producer. They weren't allowed to say what the exact issue was. The only thing Lisa Vanderpump says, oh, like this is the young, when Mauricio was with Portia and Levitt in the kitchen, and she was like, oh, so this is the young lady everyone's saying Mauricio's with, and then Kyle lost her mind. Yeah. So for you, Kyle, to be like, and then Mauricio's out here, he literally has a girlfriend. Her name's Nikita. She's like in her early 30s. He's out here doing the absolute most. He took down your photo, put up the photo of his Dancing with the Stars partner. Like, he's out here doing the absolute most. He has a bachelor pad that he bought furniture for. That's a pretty permanent statement. But you want to sit here in your confessionals like, we're different. We're special. Oh my God. We're not Sutton. I'm not Sutton. I'm not Camille. Mo would never. Girl, not Mo would never. Mo is and Mo has been. That's why none of this is like, that's why the thing is, I don't think people feel bad that you're separating. I think people feel bad that you're this delusional about it. Now, don't get me wrong. I still stand by the fact I think they'll get back together, not because I think that their marriage is different or special, but I think because they don't have a prenup. I think he's going to start looking hella corny real quick because being that 50-year-old dude in the club isn't that cute anymore. I think once that new wears off, maybe it won't. Maybe he'll be that 60-year-old guy in the club still trying to bang the young girls. Maybe that's him. Cringe. Who knows? But I think if they get back together, it's not because they're special or different. I think it'll be because it's the most financially convenient thing to do. That's what I think it will happen. Or maybe they'll just continue to live apart forever, do what they want, never get legally married, and look over their finances that way. That could happen too. So there's that. And then I wanted to talk about Sierra Content. She said, oh, gorgeous girl. She says, can we talk about what Sutton said? You're mad about the situation you're in. It wasn't below the belt. Who was called out of their name? That was a definitive statement. Exactly. 100%. I agree with that 100%. I don't think that Sutton saying, you're not mad at me, you're mad at your life, that was spot on. And to me, that should have been the meme. That should have been the moment. That should have been what we were all talking about. I don't think there's anything cute or queen or kiki about a woman calling another woman the C word multiple times with her whole chest. It's not cute. It's not funny. I don't care how you feel about Camille Grammer. I personally really like Camille. I actually think she's cool and she's funny, and I would prefer her back on the show. I really like her. I do. Full transparency, I have met her before. I don't think she would remember me the way she didn't remember Erika's name. So I'm not trying to lie and say like we're best buddies. We're not. But I did meet her once, and she was completely super nice, super down to earth, and a really super sweet person. So however you feel about Camille or not, what Dorit said was disgusting. And that is weaponizing, Bose. That is weaponizing your trauma against somebody. I'm going through a hard time, therefore I can rip everybody else apart and nobody can say anything to me. No, the world doesn't work that way. You have your stuff going on, I got my stuff going on. You come with me respect, I come with you respect. You come to me crazy, that's it. Bye-bye, boo-boo. Get it together. Get it together. Okay, let's talk about the next one. So then this person said, yeah, the people who deluded themselves into disagreeing with Kyle when she pointed out Dorit was acting weird and not like herself. Dorit is clearly only coming after Kyle because she wants a storyline. Kyle has already apologized and tried to fix it multiple times. The reunion text also didn't read as manipulative to me. That was just Erika and Dorit cooking up some last-minute drama. Exactly. I was saying that from day one. Again, I fell down this rabbit hole on Reddit and I was like, yes, I found the voice of reason. Because reading the comment section this season, I'm like, I don't even want to watch this show anymore. If this is the collective, I'm never going to ride Dorit's D. I'm never gonna be like a Dorit fan. Like it's just not gonna happen. Like I'm so confused how all of these people are now Dorit's amazing, Dorit's giving. She's like, no, she's not. Like how quickly we forget. And to be honest with you, I get vile Kyle, goodbye Kyle, but at least Kyle gave way more than what Dorit has ever given. Kyle will stir the pot. She'll want people to own it. She'll cry. She'll be all weird. She'll do the most. Of course, we're like, Kyle, we want you to talk more about yourself. We want to be more. Of course, we get it. But if you're being honest, over the course of the entire Real Housewives of Beverly Hills series, Kyle has given way more than Dorit ever has. Dorit is just now tapping back in after being on the bench for the last 7 years. When she first came on the scene, she was more of who she was with the whole panty gate with Erika, going at it with like Lisa and stuff, and all of that. She gave it more, and that was more of a kiki, more of a thing, had more of her personality in it. And then she tapped out and was basically benching it for the last 7 years. And now she's tapping back in, being hella disrespectful and very verbally violent, to be honest with you, the way she's been talking to people. F you and da-da-da-da-da, you need to F and listen and da-da-da, and you're a cunt. And like, girl, this is your queen? This is who y'all are worshiping? This is who y'all are standing? What? But let Garcelle even breathe in Dorit's direction. Oh, Garcelle's a bully. Oh, Garcelle needs to go. Oh, she's holding a grudge. Oh, she can't play the race card. What? Is that a joke? Like I'm like that. I was like, I'm in La La Land right now. Like, what is going on? So I will stand 10 toes down on business all day, every day. Queen Garcelle, Queen Sutton, Team Kyle when it comes to Dorit, and Bozoma is she's a flop for me. Stop trying to make Bozoma happen. It's not going to happen. Stop trying to make Fetch happen. They're pushing her down our throats, and she's not it. And I think people in the entertainment industry, I think people on the cast, I think other bloggers, they're scared to say anything about her because they think she's so powerful in the entertainment industry. She's a CMO. She's a chief marketing officer. She's talking about like decks and PowerPoints. Not to take that away from her, because I want to be very clear. I'm not taking anything away from her. She's extremely accomplished, extremely intelligent, super professional in the corporate world. That doesn't mean I have to vibe with her as a housewife on Bravo. Because I don't. You see what I'm saying? So there's that. All right. And I think, all right. So then, okay, let me read this thread, which was just amazing. Okay. It says, thank you. She yells at Kyle, talking about Dorit. Thank you. She yells at Kyle and smokes a cigarette, and suddenly everyone forgets she was an ignorant potted plant season after season. Then they go, right, now people are more interested in a Kyle takedown rather than Dorit being a POS. Thank you. Didn't I say this weeks ago? From episode 1, I said this is what's going to happen. The collective social media people, they are more interested in getting their pound of flesh from Kyle, a Kyle takedown, than they are in actually looking at it objectively, Dorit versus Kyle. But the women are going to be on Kyle's side because they're looking at it through subjective lens because they're the ones actually going through it. So subjectively, they're the ones in it. They're going to side with Kyle because in this situation, Kyle's right. Kyle's right in this situation. I hate to say it. I don't say that a lot. But in this situation, Kyle's right. Dorit is wrong. She's doing the absolute most because she needs that check. She's doing the absolute most because now she can tell Kyle to her face how she's always felt about her. She's never liked Kyle, let's be honest. She used Kyle. But now she doesn't have to pretend anymore. Let's be real. Okay? Okay. The other person says, agree, and I get it. She's finally bringing something so it feels new and fresh, but I don't think she can do it for long. And then the other person says, nah, I'm a true Dorit downer. As soon as I saw the cigarette, I said staged. Everything Dorito and PK do seems staged. That's why Garcelle said what she said, and PK's flippant attitude makes me think she was right. And another clue of stage, Dorit, normally so long-winded, was very precise with her Kyle attack. So practice, methinks. Exactly. And this is what I said before. I think a lot of what Dorit is saying against Kyle, I stand 10 toes down on this. My gut is coming from Lisa Rinna. 100%. And isn't it funny? I talked about this in another video. I had said the fight between Kyle and Dorit is so Lisa Rinna coded. You were manipulating me. You weren't a friend for me. You ice me out. You blab up. You punish. You do this. I was like, this is so Lisa Rinna coded. It's not even funny. And then remember the whole thing that came out where it was like allegedly Dorit was caught coming from Mo's condo, which I actually don't think is true because they were using the image of her smoking in the car, but that was from the scene at the show. I actually don't think that was true. But the moment that story came out or those allegations came out, all of a sudden we saw Kyle and Morgan grabbing lunch with who? Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin. Then the next day, all of a sudden, we have a Dorit coming out with an interview. I think it was in British Vogue or British Elle or British Harper's Bazaar, something like that, where she's like, I wasn't sure if I was going to come back to the show, but Lisa Rinna was the one who convinced me. She really helped me. You think it's a coincidence? And I was saying this from jump. I was like, Lisa is in Kyle's ear, telling Kyle every single thing Dorit has ever said about Kyle behind her back. Then Lisa is in Dorit's ear, talking about Kyle like a damn dog because Lisa doesn't like Kyle either. She never liked Kyle. She hates all of the Richards sisters, let's be honest. I think she's very bitter and very mad because she didn't take down Kyle and Kathy the way she thought she was with Aspen, and it blew up in her face and she ended up getting fired for it. She's pretending to be Kyle's friend, but she's really stabbing her in her back. And I think, remember when Lisa went on her little tirade bank? Well, Kathy said that Dorit was useless or whatever she said, useless or pointless or something like that. I don't think Kathy said that because, to be honest with you, I don't think Kathy cares enough about Dorit to even mention her name. I don't think Kathy Hilton could be bothered to talk about Dorit. I think that Lisa Rinna was saying what she thought about Dorit. I think, and I actually agree with Lisa Rinna on this, I think Lisa Rinna thought that Dorit, like I said, was pretty much useless and was just skating and coding along. And Lisa thought she was doing all the work and Dorit just kind of, got cover. And I agree. And that's why now everyone's like, oh my God, Dorit. When they forget, Dorit was right there with all of them. Dorit was a part of the whole, in my opinion, I think Dorit knew about the attack on Garcelle's son the whole bots situation. Dorit was right there with Diana Jenkins and Lisa Rinna and Erika Jane when Garcelle's son was being attacked online. Dorit was right there with them, laughing and geeking when Erika was cussing out Garcelle's son. And this is the difference between Dorit, Kyle, and Erika and the Garcelle situation. We have seen Kyle and Erika actually take accountability and have contrition about what happened. From a genuine standpoint, they have said publicly and privately, we're sorry, what we did was wrong. And when Garcelle came to the group and was like, I'm still feeling some type of way. I don't feel safe having my children in this group, given what happened. Erika and Kyle were quiet. They were thoughtful, and they gave space for Garcelle to talk about how she was feeling. Ding Dong Dorit over here. This, Boz, if you're watching, is actually an example of weaponizing somebody's pain against them. Okay, Boz. Dorit then says to Garcelle, who is saying, I'm scared, I don't feel safe with my children in this group because my child was literally bullied. Okay? Because of this group, and perhaps by some people actually in this group, either directly or indirectly, correct? Dorit then says, I'm hurt that you would even dare say that you're hurt. What do you mean you wouldn't feel comfortable having your children around me? How dare you? I'm now hurt because of that. That is gaslighting. That is weaponizing somebody's vulnerability against themselves. Saying to somebody, you're not mad at me, you're mad at your life, and I'm not going to allow you to talk to me any type of way is not weaponizing a damn thing. It's holding people accountable. It's having boundaries and self-respect. Boz, Ding Dong Dorit. Okay? Ugh. Had to get that off my chest. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay, I think those were all of the screenshots I had. So let's go back and talk a little bit more about the women and the episode. Then I'll open it up so people want to come up and talk, and then I'll take some candy cane questions and comments. Okay, so Garcelle, this episode and in general, chef's kiss, sweetheart, chef's kiss. There is a little bit of a melancholy to Garcelle this season, a little bit of a sadness. And I'm okay with that because she's being honest about why. And it's funny, not funny, but it's telling because this was the note I had given Garcelle before, where I was like, we know Garcelle the mom, we know Garcelle boss babe, but we don't really know Garcelle the woman that much. And not this episode, but the episode before, that's what she was saying in her heart to Kyle. She talks about it to Sutton this episode. In her heart to heart with Kyle, she's like, I have the career that I've always wanted, and my boys are about to be out of the house, and it's just going to be me. And I don't know what that means or looks like. Like, I don't know me. I don't know Garcelle the woman. I don't know my own identity. And I think that's a little bit of her sadness. And I think that's okay because it's a form of grief when you have changes in your life, when you're not sure of who you are, so there can be a bit of sadness to it. And I applaud Garcelle for being honest about it and not trying to be like, nope, everything's cool, everything's great, I'm this boss babe, I'm dipping it and doing it, I got my movies, I'm producing. And she does, and all those things are great, but then she humanizes herself and says, yeah, those are great things to tick off a list, but at the end of the day, I'm still struggling to figure out who I am. To me, that is vulnerable. To me, that's better than any storyline because she's actually being real and not faking it and trying to put it on for people like everything is like all Gucci baby when she is struggling with something. And I think that, to me, I'm so confused why so many people are overlooking that with Garcelle. Instead, they want to be like, oh no, she needs to stop playing the race card with Dorit and holding a grudge. Like, shut up, guys. Not you, obviously. Not my candy canes. I mean, those people. Like, what? This woman is being so honest because, to be honest with you, I think more people than not feel that way. They think once I get the ring, I'll be fulfilled. Once I get the house, once I get the career, once I get the bank account, once I get the car, once I get the body, once I tick all of these things off this success list, that is when I will be fulfilled as a person. But the gag is that's not true. Those things are great to have and nice to have, and you deserve them. But at the end of the day, if you're not good with you, if you don't know you, if your center is not yourself, those things will not ultimately fulfill you. And I think if more people would honor Garcelle for being honest about that, to me, that's a bigger storyline to talk about. To me, that is a great storyline because that's real and that's honest and that's human and that's not, fronting. Like Ding Dong Dorit has been fronting. Everything's great. Look at me. I'm head to toe Fendi. Everything's cool. Look at me. I'm head to toe Louis Vuitton. Look at me. This is my Chanel bag. But yet you're out here losing your mind because you and your kids about to be out on the curb because you're getting foreclosed on. PK is living it up over at the Beverly Hills Hilton, and you and the kids. What's happening with you and the kids? Okay? Because I would be like, please, there is no way on God's green earth, the home, I don't think Dorit and the kids will ever be like homeless in the way that we true tangible homelessness. I hope not. But there's no way on God's green earth would a man that I laid down and popped out some kids for would be living in the Beverly Hills Hotel while the home me and his children live in is being foreclosed on, and I'm out here looking like a freaking clown. You can pay the hotel bill, but you can't pay the mortgage? What? But then y'all want to go after Garcelle. Okay. Make it make sense. I would 1,000 times be more interested in talking to a woman who is like, I've had all of the things. I married the dream guy. We got divorced. I had a career that waxed and waned, and now I'm thriving, post 40 or post 30, post, whatever arbitrary number they put on women. In this time of my life, I'm thriving in my career. But this is the area where I struggle. That to me is something I think should be more on the Real Housewives rather than talking about the fake Chanel you're wearing, boo-boo. Anyway, there's that. Let me see if I had any other notes on Garcelle before I keep it popping. Oh yeah, okay. So Garcelle brings up the fact that Kyle and PK are still texting each other. This is where I understand where Garcelle is coming from because she's coming from the perspective of this separation is actually real. And she's like, if my husband is leaving me and the kids in our foreclosed home and is going off to the Beverly Hills, dipping it and doing it, he's not even talking to me like that, but he's still all in my best friend's face, kikiing with her. Hell yeah, I'd have a problem with that. I'm with Garcelle 1,000%. There would be a problem, right? What is telling is this. Dorit, unless Dorit doesn't know yet, and maybe we'll see it come out in future episodes, maybe, who knows? Dorit doesn't seem to care. Wouldn't you think a woman who is actually separating from her husband and is in an active feud with her best frenemy, and that her estranged husband is still in this best friend's face, and the best friend frenemy who she's feuding with is still in her husband's face, wouldn't that be a good reason to go off on someone? Not talking about in 2019, you made a joke about a restaurant that I picked out the linen from that nobody went to. At BravoCon, you snubbed me over Kathy Hilton. Like, you're talking about nonsense things that you're just making up to have a reason to be mad. But when you actually have a valid reason to be mad, that doesn't even cross your mind. It took Garcelle to say something. It didn't even cross your mind. You know why that is? Because your separation with PK is a bunch of bull. It's a bunch of phony baloney. That's why she doesn't care if PK is texting Kyle, because it's not real, in my opinion. Either they've been separated and now they're saying they're separated. They're pushing back the timeline or pushing up the timeline for storyline, Or they're not really separated and they're doing this, yes, for storyline, and then also maybe to get ahead of anything legally coming down on them. Very Erika Jane, Tom Girardi. But the only real reason why Dorit would have this level of vitriol for Kyle, not this BravoCon crap, not this Pica de Bio crap, not this you ice me out crap, because you don't care. None of that's all a bunch of nonsense. You actually have a valid reason to come after Kyle, because I would be pissed. Even if me and my current best friend are beefing, the history, the loyalty, the common decency, you should not be in my estranged husband's face by any means. And you should not allow him to be in your face. I will handle him, but you should not be doing that. No way in hell. If one of my best friends, even if I wasn't speaking to her and I knew her and her husband was going through a separation, ain't no way I'm going to be kikiing with him and DMing and texting. Hell no. So the one valid reason that Dorit actually has to beef with Kyle, she doesn't even think of. What does that tell you? It's all fake. Not real. A bunch of BS. A bunch of BS. Okay? A bunch of BS. Garcelle had more of an emotional reaction than Dorit did. Dorit didn't even clock it. She didn't even care because it's not real. PK pretty much said it himself. Because again, listen to people when they talk, because they always tell on themselves. When in episode 3, was it? Episode 2 or 3, whichever one it was. 2, 3, or 4, whatever. Go back and watch. When PK sits down with Mauricio and he says something along the lines of either, you and Kyle's separation is the blueprint, or I look to it as inspiration. Something about blueprint, inspiration, looking to hit him and Kyle's separation. And Mo was like, what? Because, Mo's always, out to lunch. But I was like, why would you say it like that? It kind of made me think they saw how much of a deal and relevancy and press and coverage and talk about the separation is, between Kyle and Mo, that they were like, okay, well, we get separated. That will give us a built-in storyline. That will give us built-in relevancy. Let's take a cue from there, because they need the money. They need her to be on Bravo. And Dorit, stop lying. You didn't decide to go back to Bravo. You had to, because you guys need the money. And you were on the chopping block. Word on the street was like, they were like, Dorit's boring as hell. Who can we go? You're lucky they got rid of Crystal. Because if it wasn't Crystal and Anna Marie, it would have been you. That's what I mean. She has skated by. Coasted, has been a non-factor. Tofu, just there. Not giving, not getting, just there. She's just been coasting. And she's been lucky that there has been the Crystals, that there has been the Anna Maries, that there has been the Diana Jenkins, who gets fired before her. And so they just give her cover. She just floats. She has all the cover. Okay? Now, Dorit, we done talked about Ding Dong Dorit enough. Hi to her. All right, let's talk about... Okay, let's talk about Erika. I don't think we talked about Erika yet. Okay, Erika Jane. The only thing I really need to say about Erika is let's talk about the therapy session. Number one, I'm tired of the therapy sessions on the shows, bookatherapist.com. I'm tired of the therapy sessions because, I don't know, to me it just seems so bizarre to broadcast a therapy session on reality TV unless it is truly raw and authentic in a way that could truly help people by watching it. If it is only in service of a narrative that you are trying to convince us of, it's garbage. Because I think therapy is great. I think everyone should go. I think if you are going through something or not going through something, I still think you should go. talk things out, get it out, work it out, get a great baseline, do check-ins, do what you got to do. I think it's a beautiful profession. I think it really helps people. So to sort of bastardize it and to weaponize it, so that's the word of the night, to weaponize it in this way is a bunch of BS. Because although I think what her therapist was saying was valid and true and spot on, like you didn't get the pizza party, like the girls weren't, rallying around you because of everything going on, because you were being really mean and evil, and your husband was being accused of stealing millions of dollars from victims, from breaking his oath, stealing his client's money. Okay? So, no, you didn't get a pizza party, Erika, because you were cussing people out, saying you didn't give a damn about the victims, said the only person you cared about was yourself. You spoke your truth, and then you wanted us to celebrate you? You fought tooth and nail in our judicial system, wasting everybody's time, money, and resources, re-victimizing the victims because you wanted to hold on to some earrings? So, no, you're not getting a pizza party, and I'm not believing your redemption arc. Your entire session with this, book a therapist was only to convince us of your redemption arc. I'm taking accountability for my actions. I played a part in being this, blah, 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 blah. Like, enough, Erika. I'm tired of your redemption arc story. Let it go. Let it go. You keep talking about you being triggered by the stuff and how nobody was there for you. Why? You're the only person still talking about it, sweetheart. Shut up about it. Who has brought up Tom Girardi? Not Nan person. We're moved on. The feds want to give him 14 years. The dude is in his 80s. You do the math, okay? Nobody's talking about it but you, Erika. And again, Garcelle doesn't have a storyline. Okay, what's Erika's storyline? Because it can't be Tom Girardi forever. It can't be I'm the victim of him forever. It can't be that. Pat the Puss ain't it either. So we want to trash Garcelle? What's Erika's storyline that's not tired out? Every time I went through it myself, and the girls were. Shut up, Erika. Shut up. Because this is the thing. Don't blame the legal system. Oh, I couldn't talk about it. This is the thing. If you couldn't talk about it, you still could have shown some shred of a soul. This is what I would have done if I was Erika and I was in her situation. If I was Mrs. Tom Girardi and my husband was being accused of, stealing millions of dollars from orphans and burn victims and airplane victims and all this stuff. And a part of me and my legal team was worried that I would be implicated and I didn't want to go down for it. I would say this. I would say, what my husband is being accused of is absolutely disgusting. My heart is with the victims. I am with the victims, and I will do everything in my power to make things right. I would say I had no idea, even if I had an idea, even if I knew what he was doing, because I'm not built for jail, okay? I'm not built for jail, all right? I'm barely built for winter, okay? I can't go to jail. So I'm not going to incriminate myself. No, I didn't know what he was doing. I had no idea. He was Aaron Brockovich's lawyer. I thought he was legit. However, in light of the allegations, my heart is with them. I am fully cooperating to the full extent of my knowledge, to the full extent of what I can do. In fact, here is this. Here is the car. Here is the fur. Here is the painting. Here is some joy. I'm going to give what I can to make them whole. I am utterly shocked and I am utterly gutted by these accusations. I can't believe it. Let's see how this plays out in the judicial system, but my heart is with them. Duh. Then you would have got your little freaking pizza party, Erika. But no, you want to get drunk, pop some Xanax or Lexapro, whatever the hell you were on. These are her words. She said she said it herself on the episode. She said she was drinking on Lexapro. She said out of her mouth. I don't gotta say alleged because that's what she said. No, you want to pop your Lexapro, do your tequila shots, get out of pocket and cuss everybody out because they're like, excuse me, miss. Do you not understand that the clothes you're wearing was bought with blood money, but you want to sit here and cuss us out? Girl, bye. No, not never. So if Garcelle needs a storyline, so does Erika. Okay? Leave Garcelle alone. There can be more than one Black person on a primarily white cast, and the world will still turn. Garcelle can hold a boundary against Dorit without holding a grudge. Those are two different things. Okay? Garcelle can be vulnerable about what's going on in her life without having a messy, fraudulent divorce or fraud or some other crap storyline going on and still be a moment and still be that girl because she is. Leave Garcelle alone. Bloop. Okay. Let's talk about Sutton. I've said a lot about Sutton, especially when it comes to her versus Dorit. Love her. Love her. Again, I want to make a bumper sticker or a t-shirt or a meme. You know, you're not angry at me, you're angry at your life. To me, that was the best line of the night. Not this, you're a see you next Tuesday. I didn't call you that. I called you a stupid. Like, no, that's not it. That's not it. Dorit isn't it. Dorit being activated is not a vibe to me. Dorit smoking on camera is not a vibe to me. Dorit swearing, giving a middle finger, calling people the C word is not a vibe to me. She's not a vibe. I don't think she's giving anything. I think she's projecting. I think she's acting. I think she's broke. I do think she's scared, but I think she's scared because of money and maybe being investigated. But I don't see why that's Sutton's problem. I don't even see why that's Kyle's problem. Again, she's playing victim in a situation that she created for herself. You knew who your husband was, you know what he did, and you did it with him. And you know how you did it with him? Because you said it in the after show. You said that, oh, PK would get in his feelings and he would feel less than or emasculated when I would try and take over the business deals, blah, blah, blah. Then same thing with Erika Jayne. Didn't Erika Jayne say she worked at Girardi and Keese, right with Tom, but they don't know anything going on? Okay. 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 Yeah. Boz. Next. Okay. Kathy. Love Kathy. She's a moment. She's a queen. She does the damn thing. Love her. Love, love, love. Jennifer Tilly. Love Jennifer Tilly. She's a vibe to me. She's the perfect amount of eccentric quirk, like so filthy, being like, I have two houses, but I live in the smaller house and I just host in the bigger house. Is everything like, what? Can you adopt me? Like, I want this life. I want to just be like, this is my house, and then this is the house I entertain in right next to it, and it's really great, and blah, blah, blah. Like, her and her partner just seem like really quirky and kind of like cool, nerdy, artsy, multi-bazillionaires, just, you know, living life. Like, it's a vibe. Like, it's fun. She's eccentric. She's cool. But she's soft and she's sweet. And I like that her and Sutton are so close, but Jennifer is not up Sutton's butt. Like, they're same thing with Garcelle. And I think that's why Garcelle, Sutton, and Jennifer are such a vibe together, especially on the after show and on the show itself. They're such a vibe because they're good friends and they have fun, but none of them are placating each other. None of them are blowing smoke up their butt. None of them are their mouthpieces. They will shade each other. They will hold each other accountable, but they do it in a way that's loving and light because they're friends and they actually like each other. And that's why it's a vibe, and that's why it's fun, and that's more of what you want to watch. You want to watch these rich, quirky, fun women who can throw some shade, but the shade's thrown in love. No one's spiraling and calling people see you next Tuesday, but they're having fun and nobody's being each other's mouthpiece or up each other's butt. But they defend each other when need be. And I'm here for it because to me, that's real friendship. That's real sisterhood. Like the people who are like my friends, like I mean like my like friends and like my like life, if I'm not in a room and somebody's talking about me, number one, that wouldn't happen because nobody would feel that comfortable talking bad about me to someone who they know is my actual friend. People only feel comfortable bad mouthing you to people if they think that person isn't really down for you, because that gives them the comfortability, that gives them the permission. Very similar to what happened with Aspengate, with Kathy and Erika, and not Kathy, against Kathy, with Kyle and Erika and Lisa Rinna and Dorit. That's why I said it was a setup, and that's why I said they were all in on taking Kathy down. Not necessarily a like, let's sit down and do a PowerPoint setup how we take Kathy down. But what I mean by that is, if Kyle was not so clearly hating on her own sister and so clearly open to disrespecting her own sister, then nobody around her would have felt that level of comfort to clown and to come for her sister like that. That's what I mean. People know who they can talk to about around certain people. There's that. So, yeah. So that's pretty much it. That's kind of what I felt about the ladies so far. That's kind of what I feel about the social commentary that's going on. I think it's still going to be a really good season. I'm still here for it. I'm happy I found that Reddit thread because I was like, at one point I was like, I don't even know if I can do this. What are these people talking about? Dorit? Like what? But I was like, no, Candy, calm down. You have your candy canes and find a community. And I was like, okay, I'm not the problem. So yeah, that's kind of what I feel about it. So I want to know what you guys think about this. What do you think about the new season? What do you think about the new girl Boz? What do you think about these fights? Dorit versus Kyle, Dorit versus Sutton. What do you think about Erika Jane? What do you think about the backlash against Garcelle? What do you think about this season? Are the friends of giving Kathy and Jennifer? Let a girl know. And I'm going to drop the link in case anybody wants to come up. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. It is a free and easy way to support me and the show. And I would really appreciate it. Okay. Now, let's see. Let's take some Candy Canes questions and comments. Hey, Holly. Holly says, my favorite candy. Welcome, sweetheart. Hope all is well. I said, you too, Holly. Hey, Tay-Tay, how are you? Says, hi, Candy. Hello, love. Barbara says, hi, Candy. Hi, sweetheart. EJ says, hi, hello. Hey, Darren Wood, what is up? Tay-Tay says, agreed. Darren says, Boz needs to just be herself and don't change while cameras are rolling. I agree. That's a great assessment because I don't think we've seen the real Boz. We've seen Boz CMO. We've seen Boz Dorit's mouthpiece. But who is Boz? Is she funny? Is she not funny? What is she like? Are we going to see her boyfriend? We saw a picture of him, but is he going to come around? What's going on in her life? She said she's retired. She's doing workshops. That's typical. A lot of people in corporate America, even when they are still in corporate America, they do the speaking circuit scene. So that's completely normal. But what else is going on in her life? Because watching her child do a PowerPoint and her talking and her being Dorit's mouthpiece, I need more. Like, who is she? What is her personality even like? I'm confused. Tay said the Dorit and Boz stands are crazy. Thank you. My people, thank you. Obsessed. Thank you. Darren said, bye, Doritos. Exactly. Tay says, Dorit refused to shut up this week. She refused to shut up and she said a whole lot of nothing. It was a whole lot of hot air. And it goes back to what we were saying before, how, Dorit's always long-winded and she just goes around in circles and she doesn't get it. But yet when she's coming for Kyle, it's very precise, it's very scripted, it's very staged. And I think I think Lisa Rinna is coaching her on what to say. That's what I think is going on. I think she's being coached. Gail says, hi, everyone. Finally caught alive. Welcome, Gail. What's up? Kristen says, I like Bozoma. That's okay. That's okay. Tate says, wrong move, Boz. Mademoiselle says, I'll just tell the reality, your actual reality, your broke truth, your foreclosure truth, your husband's gambling debt truth, your fake egg robbery truth, and the word on the street. Exactly. Your cheating truth with Kyle's husband, Mauricio, and have you even paid back your business partner or my friend's truth about you never paying anyone truth. Let's talk about being a stupid C. Oop, 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 oop. Adam says, hey, Candy Novacanes. Hey, Adam. Hey, sweetheart. It says, Bozoma went down the wrong road. I hate to see someone who was educated make foolish mistake of an arse kissing Dorit. I agree 1,000%. Like, and for whatever reason, like, I don't know, is Boz like really connected in the entertainment industry because she used to work at Netflix, and I think her husband, rest in peace, condolences. Want to be respectful because he's passed and all that. I don't know if he was really connected, but I feel like they're scared to like go against her, except for Sutton. Sutton in the after show, she was like, Bozoma needs to mind her business. Like, she's interjecting herself in this conversation. She doesn't even know the history. And I was like, thank you, Sutton. Thank you. Like, number one, Boz, you don't know the history of these women. So the one time you decide to pipe up, you want to incorrectly use the term weaponizing. And then double down in the after show being like, if her vocabulary was bigger. Bozoma, you were the CMO of Uber and Netflix for like a minute. You should know how to use the term weaponizing. Just saying. Adam says, people can now see the after show and her head is up to read. Yay! Oh, British people can now. Good. Woohoo! Thank you. Send me a DM. Let me know your thoughts on it, because I was telling you, like, you see how up her butt she is on the show, but the after show, it's literally hard to watch. She's shucking and jiving. I don't know if you'll get that reference. If you are in America, you'll get it. But she's chucking and jiving. And it's not a good look. It's bizarre. I think even Dorit at some times are like, what's going on? Like, why are you so far up my butt? I'm confused. And this is also the thing. Again, why I'm so confused by Boz and why she's so obsessed with Dorit. Because it's not like they actually maintain their friendship. Because when you watch the first episode of the after show, they're like, oh my God, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you since, taping or something. So it's not like they filmed the season and then they continued this great friendship. It was like, no, they filmed the season, didn't see each other. Then they filmed the after show and she's still this far up this woman's butt. Like, what? I'm confused. Maybe I'm projecting in this moment because I am a Black woman. So I can check my own biases, my own projection. I don't know. I could be, I could not be. I want to know what you guys think. I think Bozoma is kind of the type of woman who I don't think she sees it for Garcelle. I said it. Because I think she's used to, not that she's going to go against her, or not that, well, actually, I think she has said some shady stuff about Garcelle. She has. She said something about, I forgot what it was. It'll come to me. Let me put it this way. I don't think that she's going to actively go against her. I think she might say some shade in the confessional or the after show because, she's a confessional after show warrior. But I think Boz is kind of used to being the only Black woman in the room. And I think that when you have someone like Garcelle, who's probably also used to being the only Black woman in the room, but Garcelle doesn't chuck and jive. She's cool and she's accepted for being herself. Like the contrast between Garcelle and Sutton's friendship versus Dorit and Boz's, it's not even a friendship. I don't even know what the hell to call that. It's not even an alliance because I don't think Dorit even pays Bozoma dust unless she's up her butt. It's not even an alliance because it's not both ways. I don't know what the hell to call it. Interactions, night and day. And I think that there's something about Garcelle that sort of triggers Bozoma in a certain way. I don't know why I feel that way. I just do. I just do. Could be wrong, but I don't think so. I don't think they'll ever have an actual beef. I don't think it'll ever be anything that is tangible or I don't think it'll ever go there, but I think it's more energetic. I felt, and I'll tell you, I felt that way the moment Garcelle walked up to Dorit and Bozoma at the Surrealist party. It was the look Bozoma gave Garcelle and how quickly she was giving her nasty looks with Dorit because Dorit was so mean to Garcelle. She snubbed her when she tried to give her a hug. And Bozoma kind of co-signed it, like, yeah. And in my mind, I was like, Bozoma, you're acting like you've been Dorit's friend for like 20 years. And this is a chick that doesn't mess with your best friend. And so you're being your best friend's wing woman. You don't know Bozoma, or you don't know Dorit from a can of paint. You probably have known of Garcelle way more since she's actually in the entertainment industry. So why weren't you open to Garcelle the way you were open to Dorit? I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but that's sort of how I felt. Adam, sweetie, what is up? Go ahead.
Hi, Candy. How are you doing?
Good.
Good, good. I literally just finished the episode when you went live. Literally, that's how fresh it is in my mind.
Yay! Sound off, sweetheart.
I am so upset. I had the highest of high hopes for this woman, and for her, as I DM'd you, to use that terminology against Sutton is just beyond. And I hate seeing people who are educated make mistakes that are the worst mistakes you can make, i.e., being up Dorit's butt. Like, what has Dorit got to offer you that's something that's out of this world? Oh, yes, nothing. Because there's a fashion line that doesn't exist anymore, and an Italian restaurant that's probably open for one day, allegedly. I don't know. But to me, I don't even know if I watched the episode or if I watched the Sutton show because because to me, I thought really, quite frankly, Garcelle and Camille were were nice, but only Sutton really like delivered. It was nice to see Garcelle's house, but like this was the worst episode of the season so far for me. And as I as I as you were saying earlier, though, with Garcelle triggering the person with the worst financial history on the show that can't even have a house in his own name, just on Instagram was priceless. I mean, I I mean, as I've been open and honest, I was not Garcelle's biggest fan last season. I did not have that energy that I found in the first 3 seasons. But that move alone, for someone to get that mad, I think he said something along the lines, "Can't you find a better way to make money?" Like he really went that.
Yeah.
He really
Maybe you
went
need
that.
a new, he said maybe you need a new manager. And I was like, excuse me, PK, like you pretend to be a manager to Boy George. Like, who the hell are you managing? And also, PK, didn't your whack reality show get canceled in London where Garcelle is actually executive producing and starring in multiple movies that are currently airing and streaming in the US? So
Yeah,
PK,
he had this lame
and also,
show. Yeah.
PK, isn't your home being foreclosed on that your children live in when Garcelle just debuted a brand new beach house that she bought and built and decorated by herself? So who needs to figure out how to way to make money?
100%.
Boy.
And the craziest thing is that this man used to have means beyond means, but he made some stupid decisions. And he went from having senior positions at a football team to living behind a screen. That's how full from. And
Yep.
I think, as I said, last season kind of wasn't it for me with Garcelle, but I hope to see that season 10 to 12 energy that we just saw on Instagram and in this episode. I would give her credit. Even though Sutton looked a little bit uncomfortable, I'm glad she broke the fourth wall and said, I think something was more up to this robbery case. But I do
Yeah.
disagree. I do disagree with partially what she said, which is that I do think Dorit you personally.
Yeah.
I don't know why she thinks Dorit didn't know, but like to me, I think that was on board on case. I mean, what robbery that someone held a gun to someone's head? Do you not lose any piece of jewelry? And do you have your iPhone fragilely put back perfectly in place? And that, as much as I'm not a massive fan of Cara Richards, I believe her one because she literally spelt it out. Whatever wasn't on my body was stolen from me in terms of her jewelry. But literally, I mean, it is just beyond. And I think the problem with this show is when, and I'm not saying this just because I being a British person, but when Lisa Vanderpump was taken down, this show went from being a show that was pure entertainment and fun to let's be a mean spirit fun show because they were.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Kyle Richards and Lisa Renner kind of exposed themselves with their jealousy of that she even had Vanderpump Rules. I just saw clips in the past where they were like, "Oh well, we should have our own show as well with our family or with our business," and kind of that
Mm-hmm.
in your insinuation, just being Lisa Vanderpump was that girl, or as we would say on this side of the pond, was that lady, and to me, after what they did to her, it's the hypocrisy is real, and I know you and I clashed with the agree to disagree with the Team Dorit, Team Kyle. My view was
Mm-hmm.
it was refreshing to see Kyle Richards have it spelt out to her, and and uh, and the British humour was also fair, but with now it's just beyond. I mean, I've just seen the episode
Yep.
trailer, and she's not only having problems with Sutton and this uneducated energy that she has to Garcelle, but she's still harpering on. I mean, I don't know. What's your view? If you were married to someone for 17 years, and and um
Mm-hmm.
and you're rather your best friend is married to a bloke for 17 years, and you and your husband are still great friends with this broke, even though they're going to head to divorce. Are you completely off limits, even though you've known this man for 17 odd years or whatever? I know that's a lot more than they've known each other, but
Yeah.
to me, like in Britain,
Mm-hmm.
kind of, I know people who have had separations and what have you, but they've already made these friends together that they kind of accept it, which is best friends, or which is friends that had kids together, but we
I
we
think
know all these
I
people.
I think there's so many factors in it. Like one, was I his friend first and then became friends with her? Like for example, Lisa Vanderpump was PK's friend, and so she's clearly
Yes,
on PK's side. She's like, I wish PK well. She's like, I hear things, so I wish him well because they were friends first, and that's how they met. So it's like with Kyle and Dorit, though, like Kyle
they
and
met at the
Dorit
same
were,
time.
yeah, they met at the same time, and it was Kyle and Dorit being friends, and then their husbands became friends, and so by proxy, the spouses became friends. Me personally, I would give it a bit of a break. Like if my friend who I actually like loved and cared about, whether or not we were in a beef, because Kyle and Dorit are currently beefing, right? They're not friends. They're in a beef. Whether or not we were in a beef or we were in a good place, if this is a woman that I truly loved and called a friend for years, and she was separating from her husband, I would not be mean to him. I would not be disrespectful, but I would have an appropriate amount of space. If I see him out, I'll say hello. Well, we could chop it up for a little bit, but I'm not going to be texting him back and forth, inside jokes, you know, kikiing with this man. No, because it's not appropriate. If down the line things sort of settle down, they actually get divorced, people are moving on, then yeah, and it's fine. We can kind of revisit that in a cordial, platonic way. But I think when things are hot, whether I'm beefing with this person or not, out of number one, respect for myself, because I have a lot of self-respect. So out of respect for myself, I'm not that type of person that's about to be in this man's face. So number one, out of respect for myself, I'm not about to play myself looking crazy out here by doing that, because that's whack and crazy and desperate as hell, to be honest with you. So I wouldn't play myself that way. So out of respect to myself, number one, I would give it some space and time. I don't need to be best friends kikiing with a man who is divorcing my friend, even if I don't mess with her like that anymore. Out of principle, not of integrity. And then
I get with the kikiing part. Sure.
Like am I going to be his enemy? No. Am I going to cut him out of my life forever? No. But I'm going to be respectful. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to hear, because like there were certain people when I saw all these things on Reddit, and they were just like, well, Kyle should have pressed the block button immediately, and like kind of this. You know, I think you said I think it was either your Salt Lake City live the other week or last week's Beverly Hills. You said a lot of people don't understand the word nuance. You know,
exactly.
Like you know, life isn't just yes and no, black and white.
No, it's not extremes. There's spectrums. There's levels to this. There's nuance to this. You know, and a lot of people are nuance Nellies, and they don't understand nuance. You know, there's levels to it. There's degrees to it. There's timing. There's intensity of things. You know, so people don't get that. But hold on for 1 second. I want to address a couple comments real quick. So I want to go back to Marshall. Says, you've been hating on Dorit forever though. Number one, I don't hate on anybody. Just because I don't rock with them doesn't mean I don't know these women personally to hate on them. I'm just saying my opinion based on the persona they're showing on a reality TV show. It's really not that deep or serious to me. But I am keeping it 100, because if I thought Dorit was coasting for 7 years, for 7 seasons, and she wasn't really giving anything, the fact that now all of a sudden she's giving the middle finger, saying the F word every other word, and smoking on camera and calling people the C word, then yeah, if that's hating on somebody, then okay, guilty. Because I don't think that's a vibe. I don't think that's cool. That doesn't make her a queen to me. So there's that. Okay. Second comment was, hey, Mademoiselle, Camille disappointed me. She had so much to work with, but failed talking about selfies too nice. Agreed 1,000%. I wanted Camille to be activated in that situation. She should have laid Dorit out, but she didn't. She didn't. So I agree. She did disappoint, because she could have really came for her in a bigger way. Sutton was onto something, but didn't go far enough. Agreed. Again, I think Sutton could have went a little bit further. I don't think the whole you're angry with your life was a low blow. I think it was a pretty accurate statement. I think it was accurate for the moment. I think it was an accurate statement. I don't think it was below the belt. I think it was pretty accurate and spot on.
She spelled it out.
And I think she could have, yeah. And then Sierra Constance said, right, nobody tells Erika to get over her beef with Sutton, but of course Garcelle must do this and that in order to please some of these inane dum-dums who watch Housewives. Exactly. It's such a double standard. You know, Erika could have this ongoing beef with Sutton for every single season, but because Garcelle holds a boundary about what Dorit has done to her, all of a sudden she needs to get over it and blah, 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 blah. And that's what I was saying about earlier, how the people like, oh, why is Garcelle still on the show? She needs to go to Potomac or Atlanta. Like all these very microaggressive, racist things to say. And the reason why they're saying it now, they feel so emboldened to say it. I don't even think it's like quote unquote racist people saying it. I think it's more of the people who with Garcelle being, I hate using the word brave enough. Like that to me is so stupid. With Garcelle just being woman enough and adult enough to say, hey, when you said this, it made me feel some type of way. When you do this, it makes me feel some type of way. This is the context in which a Black woman experiences what you as a white woman says or does to me. I don't even think it's racist, quote unquote, racist people who are saying this about Garcelle. I think it's the people who are in that murky area where her being honest about microaggressions and her being honest about what it really means when white people say things to Black people makes their I'm not racist, I'm woke, I'm cool, I'm this or that, but it makes them uncomfortable because it makes them have to look at themselves. What microaggressions do they have? What biases do they have? What subconscious or conscious racism do they still hold? I think it's triggering the group of people who, oh, I'm not racist, but yet you'll make a joke. I'm not racist, but yet you talk about people's hair. I'm not racist, but yet you talk about, monkeys or noses, or I'm not racist, or you do whatever, you know what I mean? I'm not racist. And then it's even racist to be like, oh, Garcelle can't play the race card because Dorit has a Black friend. What? That is one of the most like cliche racist things ever. I'm not racist. I have a Black friend. Like that's literally like a bumper sticker somewhere. And that's what they're using to defend Dorit. I think it's triggering the people who have to now look at themselves when they would never categorize themselves as racist. Dorit's not a Karen, no, because they see themselves and how Dorit acts. And I think that's kind of what's going on with that. Okay, go Adam, keep going.
I think, like, to me, I just, with Camille, I think she's kind of been put on the edge for some reason. Like, I don't know what is wrong. So, the producer that's kind of like the lead on this is the same guy who is on Vanderpump in Orange County. This guy called Alex Baskin.
Oh, I know. I know.
The one that Kyle takes on holiday and all this stuff. Like to me, I always found it weird that Camille left the show to begin with in season 2, after season 2.
Didn't Kyle kind of run her out though?
Yeah, in the article, in the Daily Mail article,
Yeah.
it says that she was pretty much told you'd get demoted or leave. And I just felt that was the biggest mistake ever. And I think Camille is someone who keeps it 100. I mean, the selfie thing, like, I expected more, and in some ways, the people who live out their means could see that Dorit, was just being vulgar and foul and reckless, but kind of like it was kind of almost if like she was just there to get burned. Like, I don't know why, but like, and I saw this other clip that I got sent where even Kyle said on the Penthouse Andy Cohen's lame talk show that she was not happy with Dorit, which shocked me. But then it was just like, oh yeah, you want to look good. But to me, I kind of question the Camille and Kyle genuine kind of like they have this friendship, but like to me, it kind of is always like it always kind of has to work in Kyle's favor. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
that's why she's vile Kyle.
but it's just kind of like, to me, that I liked them when they're on watching it on camera together, and it looks cool and the synergy's there, but it's always kind of Camille's kind of like just dragged in the worst spot. It's
Mm-hmm.
weird, and but I kind of think when Camille was the one that was given the wake up call to everyone about Dorit.
Yeah,
I know
she
that I know
knew.
that I know that Marshall guy was. I know you're one of her biggest fans, but like Camille gave the gave the heads up ages ago. I mean, I liked Dorit in season 7 and 8 when she was on the show, but when it got to season 9, and she just went, "Let me just have no dignity and act all disgusting and sell my integrity out." Camille was like, "I don't know where you're getting all this money from. Your husband said to me he had filed for bankruptcy," and
Yeah, because she had defrauded one of Camille's friends. Remember, that's how Camille knew. She's like, "You did this to my
yes,
friend."
yes,
Mm-hmm.
and just like spelling it out,
Yeah.
and to me, like I I just really uh, kind of think she's had, as you said, uh, some lucky turnabouts. You know, with no even the producers kind of looking it back to keep her over Renner is kind of now looking back as like, what were you doing? And kind of because like I don't I I'm not like, to be fully transparent. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna demise her for just being a reality TV person. I knew of Lisa Renner before the show because uh, of course, being married Harry Hamlin and in her own kind of ways. But
Yeah.
when she came on the show, I kind of was like, yeah, I like the two Lisas. I like Lisa Vanderpump. I like Lisa Renner. They're the-
Mm-hmm.
they're they're the most entertaining people on this show. But when it came to the takedown of Lisa Vanderpump,
Mm-hmm.
ev- everyone was kind of like, the cast was all focusing on how it was Lisa Renner just trying to throw the dagger, but they and Dorit with the whole story, but all of them were in on it. And I don't know why people don't understand this still, because you have all these people saying that Dorit is now this icon. It's unbelievable. And I mean, what one thing was even beyond was one person uh, on another podcast was saying that Dorit has now proven that she belongs to a show. And it's just like, how? Like, to be the most classless person alive? And I really just can't. Like, to me, I just think, as I said, it was refreshing to see her have it out with Kyle just for, that one time. And and but this is just kind of like wild. And Erica is also kind of someone that, see, with Erica, I don't like her kind of narcissistic ways, but I will give her credit that she is entertaining. However,
Mm-hmm.
this whole thing of defending is almost how she wanted to be, not quite as up as Bozoma, but she was riding the Dorit train. And it's just kind of like, I thought,
Wait, who
you know,
was?
Erica, she was like saying, "Oh, well, Camille, you got to realize what she's going through," and she was trying to like go all mad and confessional, saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna go about diagnosing about personality disorders. Well, I mean, I have one, but like the inference is that she's trying to," and it's just kind of like, I get it that you want to go against Sutton because you're I mean, these people don't even know the difference between envious and jealousy. But the jealousy, I mean, I'm still not quite vibing with Jennifer Tilly. I think I will eventually. But I've been like looking at the finances, and she
So much money.
Her and Sutton
So much money.
are gifted from The Simpsons because of her ex-husband. The the ex-husband in credits gets 10 million a year, and in her divorce she gets 30%. So she's guaranteed $3 million a year. I mean, like, that's pretty damn impressive. And Sutton gets her 3.6. I mean, these women like are in super. I,
That's why I'm
I,
like, they're like a vibe. Like their money is
like,
real, their money is legit. They're quirky and they're cool and they're fun, and their friendship is genuine. And like that's what's fun. Is that it's a genuine friendship.
and that was the premise of the show, was that these women.
Exactly.
I mean, and that was the reality of all these shows. But where oh, hi Holly, I didn't see your comment. I hope it's all well with you. Caddy, did you see this recent comment by "Are you the term Karen had"?
Yeah, I saw it. I don't want to go back.
I can't. I can't.
Yeah,
But
I don't go back to.
but with, like, to me, I kind of.
Wait 1 second. Marcus, I agree with you. How is Garcelle the racist one? When Dorit threw several microaggressions towards Garcelle, Dorit is a Karen. Also, just in case people don't know, Black people, by definition, cannot be racist. I'm not here to educate people. Google it, chat GPS, chat AI, AI it, whatever you got to do. Figure it out. Black people, by definition, cannot be racist. We can be bigots, but we cannot be racist. And Karen 1,000% has a racial connotation to it. It was born out of white women of a particular age or socioeconomic echelon who thought that they could police Black people living. That's where it literally started from. Oh my God, you're in my Starbucks. What are you doing? You're in my neighborhood. Do you live here? It's that. So do your research. And Marcus, I agree with you. Thank you. But I didn't want to get too deep in it, but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
100.
Yeah.
But like, to me, I kind of think that these shows are on, like, it's like with this revamp New York, that no one is buying into this show. I don't even watch the show. I just see the occasional odd clip, and
Wait,
to
what
me,
show?
I just New York, the revamp.
Oh God. Oh God.
Like, to me, we have to believe that these people are generally, oh yeah, I FaceTime them, I text them every single day, every single week. And to have Chanel Ayan's boring cousin there, like, I'm sorry, like, it's just, it, like, it it's just, like, not worth my time. And I kind of think with Kyle, she is someone I'm not a fan of, but, like, she was on this show since the inception. That is the reality of it. I like Sutton and Garcelle's friendship. I think that they just click. You know, some people click. And with Erika, it's kind of mixed. But Dorit, to me, is someone who lives a fake life. I think most people, not in a bragging sense, but if you think of most people in metropolitan cities, the life is, people can have a strong life without wealth, but they make do, and they just live the life that they do. There are some financial hardships and there are some struggles, but and there is this massive divide in the wealth spectrum. But for someone to play this game so much that she acts like she wishes she had the Jennifer Tilly, Lisa Vanderpump money. I mean, like, she and to let's be real, she is going against Sutton because she wishes she had Sutton's life. I mean, if you got 3.6 million a year after taxes, I don't think anyone would be complaining. I mean, and if you don't want the money, then donate it to a charity. You know, some people are given, and I just think when Beverly Hills started, what stood it out compared to the other franchises was that not only was there dynamic.
Wait, Adam, wait 1 second, my love. Wait 1 second, okay? So Jeannie says, what are the microaggressions that Dorit threw at Garcelle? Could you give me one example? So like I said, go into Chat GPT or Google, and I said, can you please give me some examples of racial microaggressions that Dorit Kemsley said to Garcelle Bouvet? According to Chat GPT, it says, on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, fans and commenters have noted certain moments where Dorit Kemsley's interaction with Garcelle Bouvet could be perceived as microaggressions. Racial microaggressions are often subtle or unintended slights that can reinforce stereotypes or biases, even if the intent is not malicious. Side note, Garcelle has said this to Dorit. I get it. Maybe you don't know. You live in a bubble. Maybe you're ignorant. Okay? Below are examples of such moments as discussed by fans and media outlets. Number 1, quote, "You're so articulate" comment. In one scene, Dorit complimented Garcelle by saying she was so articulate, which, while seemingly positive, plays into a stereotype often directed at Black individuals, implying surprise that they can express themselves well. This can come across as patronizing because it assumes that articulate speech is unexpected or exceptional for someone of Garcelle's background. Number 2, defensiveness when called out. When Garcelle brought up feeling excluded or misunderstood within the group, Dorit reacted defensively, labeling Garcelle as, quote, intimidating. This reaction aligned with a stereotype often faced by Black women, where assertiveness is perceived as aggression or intimidation rather than confidence and strength. Side note, is anybody calling Dorit angry, intimidating, aggressive when she's out here telling everybody to F off, F you, see you next Tuesday? No, Dorit's a queen. She's winning, she's slaying, she's activated, she's on fire. Nobody used any of those adjectives to describe Dorit. But Garcelle is intimidating simply because she said she didn't feel understood in the group? Okay. Number 3, quote, bullying accusation. During a disagreement, Dorit accused Garcelle of being a bully, a loaded term that can play into stereotypes of Black women as being overly aggressive or threatening, even when they are simply standing up for themselves or expressing their opinions. Again, has anybody called Dorit a bully this season? No, she's showing us why she deserves to be on this show. She's showing up. She's done being nice. Garcelle simply holds a boundary with people, and she's now a bully. She's defensive. She's holding a grudge. In your words, she's, quote, the racist one, even though she's Black and Black people cannot be racist. That one you have to look up yourself on that, okay? Number 4, tone policing. On multiple occasions, Dorit focused on the way Garcelle delivered her points, criticizing her tone as passive-aggressive or rude. While tone policing can happen across context, it disappropriately affects Black women by undermining their valid emotions and dismissing the content of their arguments. She also called Garcelle angry last year. It was either like you're angry, or she said something at Crystal's party. And then the whole party was like, girl, you done messed up, and Dorit left. And Erika, her little BFF, even was like, no, it is a different connotation when a white woman says it to a Black woman. It just is. And we have to stop acting like it's not, because it is. These examples have sparked discussions among viewers about how microaggressions can occur in interpersonal relationships, often unintentionally, but still contribute to a dynamic where marginalized individuals feel dismissed or stereotyped. It's important to note that these moments lead to broader conversations which is what we're having right now, between the cast members about racial sensitivity and understanding, which is a step toward addressing these issues. And to be honest with you, I feel like your comment, and I'm not saying this like in a mean way, but I think that your comment actually proved what I said earlier. And I'll repeat that in case you didn't catch it or there's people watching now. What I said earlier was this. I believe that the reason why Garcelle is getting so much backlash isn't really from people who think of themselves as racist people. It is from people who think of themselves, I'm not racist. I would never. I voted for Obama. I have a Black friend. But yet they identify with how Dorit treats Garcelle. So when Garcelle calls Dorit out on these microaggressions, they get triggered by it and they have to then make Garcelle the villain because there's no way that Dorit is racist because Dorit says things I say. Dorit thinks the way I think. So I'm not a racist. There's no way Dorit's a racist. Garcelle's overreacting. She's being too sensitive. She's a bully. Is she? Or are you triggered because you see yourself in Dorit? Are you triggered because Garcelle is saying the quiet part out loud? And I think that is the group of people who actually have the biggest backlash against Garcelle are the people who would, I'm not racist. I'm woke. I would never. We're all equal. It's 2024. Those are the people that are being triggered by Garcelle. So those are a couple examples. Now, Adam, please continue. Sorry, I didn't want to go there, but it had to go there.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, no one is saying to anyone that Garcelle has to be your favorite person on the show, but and in all transparency, she's not my favorite, but I think she is someone who adds a different element to the show that there wasn't beforehand, and kind of even just the small things, such as just this single mum aspect of things, is something that personally I can relate to, and
Yeah.
and like to me, that isn't something that is surrounded by race, or that's just a life circumstance. But I I mean, even just seeing in this episode that section where she was with her sister, I believe, and she said from someone from where we have come from to where we are now, that is a sense of
Yeah.
self reflection of this
100%.
of this
Of
journey.
and also of gratitude.
Yeah, exactly. And like to me, and like I think it's okay. There are people in this world who are from certain generations or live in the middle of nowhere, and they don't have this around them. But one of the things I found as a privilege growing up in a metropolitan city and one of the biggest cities on earth, London, is that this is in your face whether you like it or not, and this is the life we live, and be kind of get used to it or get the hell out. kind of that's kind of
Exactly.
how I view things, and I just I think, but to go back to the show in general,
Yes, please.
it's slacking to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I watched the episode trailer or if I watched a sleeping pill advertisement like that. The trailer for the New Year's episode, that was boring. That 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 was just so boring. All you see is Dorit speak to the you girl who's up her butt and yell at Kyle. And I just
Yeah, that's what I
mm,
was saying last time we went live. I was like, this can't be it. This can't just be a season of Dorit cussing people out. Like, this isn't it. Like, it can't be this every single episode where it's either Dorit cussing out Sutton or Dorit cussing out Kyle or Dorit cussing out Camille. Like, this isn't a show I want to watch. Like, we get
And
it, Dorit. You're activated. Cool, cool. But like, I don't want to see you cussing people out every single episode.
like to me, I also just, as I said, like maybe not everyone noticed this, but like obviously I said this to you and you already saw it, but in the trailer, kind of we saw all the fun, shady moments of Sutton, and and they kind of have just been played in like the first 3, 4 episodes, and like and it's just kind of like where is kind of the other parts of the show to build that substance, other than the lines, "I'm not going to bow down to the altar of Carl Richards," and "We don't need you in this group to exist," or whatever. But we saw like the other 3 snippets of the trailer already, and to me, I just think it's just slacking. Like to me, like I'm gonna call it how it is. It's worse than this Vanderpump Rules season 9 to me. That says a lot, because if anyone knows what Vanderpump Rules is, then they would know that season 9 was the snooze fest of the show, and that's someone who loved the show saying that.
Mm-hmm. And just FYI, Variety just named Garcelle one of the 30 most powerful women on reality TV in 2024. Woo, 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 woo,
Uh, and to me, I just think the show though is just really just kind of slacking, and I just don't find it en entertaining. I kind of like, even when I was watching it today, I was like, why didn't I just watch the last 10 minutes? Because that's all it was to me. Like, I liked, don't get me wrong, I liked seeing Garcelle's house and these little things, but the entertainment part of it was just at the last 10 minutes. But it wasn't even really entertainment, because these people aren't listening intentionally. These people are just looking for moments. And what really kind of threw me off is when Dorit said to Camille, "You're always looking for a moment,"
woo. Mm-hmm. She could have said
was
that to her too.
what was beyond. I mean, at the end of the day, Dorit is is a phony, and Camille was the definition of Beverly Hills. Hello, she was married to Fraser, and literally she lived with Lisa Vanderpump and Adrian Malouf in the most expensive gated community in the whole of Los Angeles, probably one of them in California. And for reality is that's how dynamic she is compared. I mean, it's like someone saying tomorrow that I can't even express it even further than that. It's just ridiculous to even have these people say stuff that, and this Alex Baskin guy just for some reason like doesn't understand that people are getting tired of this, and people aren't interested. I mean, if I could make the shots tomorrow, I and I had to fire 2 of these women, just point blank, it would be Bozoma and Dorit. It's that simple. I mean, I think the fact that it's now been 5 episodes and we don't know anything about this Bozoma woman is says it all to me. I mean, I don't like what we saw of Crystal on the show. I thought she made some wrong moves, but at least we knew who she was in the first. You may have not had a nice idea of what she was or who she is, but at least you kind of found. To me, it's just dead silent. All she said is, I feel for her for what happened to her ex-husband and what have you. But other than that, all she said is, "I'm this marketing person. And that I take my daughter to a location once a year." Like there's no substance there, and it's just very I just think we're we're watching a show that isn't portraying what it's meant to be portraying. You know, we want people who are genuine friends and actually display wealth, not
Yeah.
people who pretend. And I, yeah, and granted, just to spell things out, Garcelle may not be a wealthy person, but at least she's got a history of
No,
dynamicness
Garcelle is
to her.
Garcelle
Yeah,
is wealthy.
yeah, but I'm talking about the magnitude. But like people
Oh
don't have to have. But I'm not dismissing that she's got wealth. I'm saying the
yeah,
magnitude.
she's good. She's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I'm saying that, but because we saw with Diana Jenkins that got you so far by
Yeah,
just having, just be. I want, even someone like if they have, entertainment history and decent amount of money, then give them a shot. But like
yeah,
this Anne Marie, this I don't know. It's kind of like it. I think kind of, and I think also what Freddie said was also accurate. Was just that kind of 7 is the magic number. But 6 is just not doing it. Like they should have made. They should have made. If I mean, even just hearing her story, being married to the Simpsons creator, and kind of, even though I'm not vibing with her 100% because I don't think I've actually got to really see much of her.
okay,
This Jennifer Tilly seems, at least she's trying to show her life. Maybe the producers didn't give her as many scenes
right.
as they gave someone like some other people in the show, but Bozoma hasn't said anything really, but just what you said earlier. We know what 4 degrees Wendy is, someone who's boring and an attention seeker.
100%.
Uh,
Okay,
uh,
Adam. Final
but
thought. Oh, go ahead.
but I just kind of I kind of think in some ways having no episode for 2 weeks is kind of what we all need.
It'll be a good
like
break.
like I mean, like, to me, like I just think that I'm I'm glad that that's the case.
Yeah, it'll
But
be good. It'll
but
be good.
but my final thoughts
Yes.
is that I want to see Sutton continue to spell things out,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want there to be something that has a karma to this nonsense,
Yeah,
effectively. But
I agree.
that's all I can say. I mean, do you have anything like
Yeah,
what you hope?
my final thoughts are just everybody be safe and have a happy and healthy holiday season. And yeah, focus on being happy, being healthy. Don't try to be productive, just try to be joyful. That's my plan. I love you
Yes, and
guys.
Merry Christmas, everyone, in
Merry
advance.
Christmas. Happy Christmas.
But yes, yeah, let's take the break and just see how things play out.
See how they play out. And join us tomorrow for we'll be here for Salt Lake tomorrow. Yep.
Yeah, sounds perfect. All right, catch you in a bit.
You too.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
Jeannie, sorry, but Black people cannot be racist. I can't be your teacher. Just Google it. Black people can be bigots. There's a difference between being a racist versus being a bigot. So do some research and you'll figure it out. So I love you guys so much. You guys be safe. Have a safe and happy and healthy holiday season. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.